everybody, my name's Toni and I'm here with the Everyday Counts program, and we have an hour together for mat yoga. So getting comfortable, having everything around you that you may need to for later, like bolsters, blankets, anything that you need for your whole practice. And then settling in, whatever that feels like is the right thing for you. And maybe you start on a chair, who knows? Letting go of anything that you think may need to look a particular way, because it doesn't. And then settling in. Taking a breath in when you're ready. Exhaling it out. Another couple of those. And you can lower your gaze or close your eyes as you start to give yourself this permission to be here. Letting your day so far, your week, or your to-do list for after this just simply dissolve away. Feeling the support underneath you. Imagine, sense, or feel into the space around you without needing to look at it. And then feel into this moment, how it is that you're doing. Acknowledge it all, not needing to have it a particular way. Yoga is the practice of turning up and noticing day by day by day and allowing it to simply be as it is, not needing it to change, to be a particular way for us to practice, but we practice through it all. Noticing if there's a lot on your mind today. And as it comes up and you acknowledge it, let it drift away. And I'm not saying it's not going to come back, that's what the mind does. But every time we notice, just acknowledge it and let it slide away, just like clouds in a blue sky. Drifting away on a soft breeze. Notice how your physical body feels today. Noticing the places that you always notice. Noticing also the places that you're less aware of. And then notice it all together, that soup of you. From the crown of your head to the tip of your toes and fingertips, notice it all. The feelings, the thoughts, the sensations, the comfort, the discomfort, all in this moment. Steady the breath. Maybe in and out through the nose, if that's comfortable for you. Expanding the breath as best as you can to a place that feels comfortable. Smoothing and steadying it as best as you can as well. Not needing it to be different than it is. And then letting go of forcing, so it rests in a place where it's sustainable. Rooting down to rise. Bringing your hands together, interlacing your hands in front of you. Rolling the shoulders softly. I'm going to root the knuckles down towards the earth somewhat. You can keep softness in the joints. Reaching the crown of the head up towards the sky. On the inhale, we're going to draw those arms up, elbows bent or towards straight, your choice. That's the inhale. Exhaling, taking them down. Inhaling up, any height, exhaling down. The more the elbows are bent, the easier that will be through your shoulders. So play a little bit with how this feels. Inhaling up, all the way up, extending upwards, exhaling, allowing that to settle down. Allowing the breath to move with the arms, allowing the arms to move within the breath. Another 2. And then we're going to release those hands, keeping the same movement. Inhaling up, we're going to twist to the right. Exhaling, hands come down in front and behind. Inhaling up and twisting to the left. Another 2 either side or resting. If you want to, you can take the gaze over those back shoulders if that feels good in your neck. And then coming back to center when you're ready. Rolling through the shoulders, anything that you need to feel more comfortable. Right hand towards the right ear, back of the head, or you can even take those fingers to the right shoulder, whatever feels comfortable for you. There's no right or wrong here. On the inhale, we're going to draw that right elbow out as we open out towards the right. Exhaling, curling. So it's the same twist, but it's a little bit more intentional. Inhaling and exhaling. Allowing the ribs to move with you, the spine. And then coming back to center and to the other side. The left hand comes up again towards or on that shoulder, back of the head. You can even come to touching the back of the ear. On the inhale, we widen, and the exhale, we draw across. Noticing how this feels, this side, where you feel it. Changing, adjusting it to feel better for you. And then coming back to center. Hand comes down. Again, any movement you need, go ahead. If you need to change up how you're seated because that feels better, go ahead. And then that right arm's going to come out towards the side. Left fingertips down, and you can meet the floor with something to bring it towards you. On the inhale, we'll draw the arm up and over, exhaling down, using that left hand to support you as your spine comes over towards the side. Noticing how this feels. Keeping the right side of the pelvis rooted with that left hand as we come over towards the left. Last one here. And then we're going directly to the other side. Right hand is rooted down. Adjust yourself as you need to. Moving within the breath, sideline of the body, getting awakened in your own way. Left side of the pelvis rooted down. And that right hand can assist with that happening. Next time the left hand comes down, we'll drift it down and rest, rolling through the shoulders. anything you need to feel a little easier here as we come over onto hands and knees for cat and cow. And if you're in a chair and want to stay for seated cat and cow, go ahead. Setting up your foundation, spreading the fingers nice and wide, so we've got those sun rays of the sun spreading out towards the earth. Belly button draws in, back of the heart is lifting, and from here, cat and cows. On the exhale, push into your foundation, lift through the back of the ribs, and on the inhale, we're dropping the belly down, inhaling and exhaling. It is a very controlled movement, not throwing your spine through these flexion and extensions, but it's an intentional movement, every single part of the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Any padding you need under those knees, you can go ahead and do that at any time. Everything is for your comfort, of course. You can double or triple over your mat if that's more comfortable. Coming to a neutral place. And then from here, knees come closer in towards each other. We're going to send that left leg back, toes to the floor. Just rocking forward and back here, waking up the back of that left leg. Pushing through the heel on the exhale, drawing forward over to the toes on the inhale. And then when you're ready, coming to a neutral place. And we're going to keep the toes on the floor, but open up the toes towards the left as we're rooting down the left heel. Pick up through the right toes and take the foot into a kickstand behind you. Any padding you need under that right knee, go ahead. From here, coming onto the left fingertips, high into a tent. And on the inhale, we're going to open up through the chest. That's the inhale. On the exhale, taking the fingertips down. Opening up. Inhaling and exhaling. If you need to adjust that right hand so it's directly under the shoulder, go ahead. Next time we come up, option to stay. We're widening through the collarbones, gaze can come up towards the ceiling, and that option is to open up that top arm over the left ear, and we're reaching from the toes all the way through the side of the body, which we've already started to open up, reaching through the fingertips. Now, any numbness, tingling through the hands, you're taking the hand down behind your head or even down towards the hip. No pinching through that shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. Excellent place to be here. Steady breath. And then from here, taking the hand down by the hip. From here, lifting up through the shoulders. Now you might need to come up to fingertips here on the right hand. Great place to be. Notice how that right foot feels here, and as you come up a little higher, you might need to bring the right foot back behind you as we draw the hands up over the shoulders, over the hips. And then we get to readjust. Padding under the right knee as you need to. Left leg is out towards the side. Shoulders more or less stacked over the hips. A little bend in that knee can help. You get to adjust. From here, hand towards that left leg. On the inhale, we're reaching up and over. Exhaling down. And again, a little bend in that extended leg can help this feel a little easier, but we're getting into the side lines of the body here. Pushing down into the left thigh, but not on that knee joint. Never want to push down onto joints. Option to reach and to stay. 3 breaths into the right side of the body. And again, a bend into that knee can help people feel a little bit more space in there. Staying for the last exhale. Inhaling up, taking the right arm all the way down, and here we are back to our original place. Arm comes back and down. Right knee draws in and left knee comes to meet it. Cat and cow, or any other movements that you need to adjust. From here, right leg steps out. I'm going to spin around so we can see you guys. Right leg steps out, and we're rocking forward and back. Inhaling and exhaling. And then when you're ready, here we are. Drawing the right heel down, toes turned out towards the right side of the mat, and immediately those fingertips on the right side come to tented position. Left foot draws back behind you, patting that left knee if you need to. Great place to stay right here. Drawing up through the ribs on the right side. If you want to add on, inhaling, extending, exhaling, pulsing down. Great place to stay here. If you want to add on, those arms can come up wide, collarbones reaching, top hand away from the earth, lifting from there. We've got that length through the right leg, all the way through the crown of the head. To add on through this, that right arm can swoop down in front of your face and overhead. And now we get that arch, that rainbow coming from the tips of the right fingers all the way to the earth. Any tingling, numbness in that right hand, we're bringing the hand to the head, shoulder all the way down to that hip, so we don't pinch any nerves through the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling here. Option to stay. Option to draw the right hand towards the right hip, coming up onto the left fingertips. And this may be enough here. Left heel may want to draw back a little bit further behind you. You know where we're going now. And the inhale is if somebody's pulling your right shoulder up, up we come. Once you're here, I'm just going to come away from the wall behind me a little bit. You've got space to adjust. Adjust that extended leg. You can bend through the knee a little, patting that left knee, anything that feels comfortable for you. Shoulders more or less over your hips, and you can see how my hips, because of that extended leg, are opening out, but I'm bringing my shoulders as best as I can over here. And if this feels super awkward, it is. This is gate pose. So consider bending the knee or adjusting the knee in some way to accommodate your body. It doesn't have to look a particular way. It's about understanding that we're moving through the sidelines of the body here, and then adjusting the shape to suit your body, not adjust your body to suit the shape. From here, we've got that hand on the extended leg. Inhaling, that left arm up and over, and exhaling down. Again, that right hand on the upper leg, not on the knee. So we're not pushing down into that knee ever. And if you're finding pinching, well, this is just simply uncomfortable, again, adjust things. Flow, give yourself permission to do what it is that you need to accommodate your body and how it feels. Flowing with your breath. And if this is not for you, please come out. If there's another movement you prefer to do, go ahead. And the option is to take that hand overhead and we stay for 3 breaths. And again, once you're here, adjust, adapt things for yourself. Steady breath, breathing into the left side of the body here, getting length through that left knee, through to the fingertips or the shoulder or the crown of the head. Staying for the last breath. Inhaling up and exhaling. Left fingertips come down. Here we are in our original shape. And then coming all the way back, spinning down, coming back into hands and knees. Big toes come towards each other, hips back towards heels. Here we are, child's pose, supported, forearms, hands, fists, block, stacked fists. Great place to be, or with those knees drawn towards each other, maybe rounding forward. And again, even here, as you round forward, option to take your forehead to something. We've got the vagus nerve running right the way through the forehead, which is part of the relaxation response. By putting your forehead down on something, you're stimulating that vagus nerve, which takes the stress response down, allowing your body to find homeostasis as quickly as possible. Steady the breath. Give yourself permission to adjust things as you need to. Stay for as long as you like. Otherwise, hands under the shoulders. Up we come in your own time. And from here, I'm going to meet you standing. So in your own way, maybe tucking those toes, coming over, supporting yourself in your own way, and coming to standing, and I will meet you there. Here we are standing, feet at a comfortable distance here. Make sure you feel nice and steady and stable. Root through your feet. Even pick up those toes, spread them nice and wide, and then send them all the way down to the earth. Push down into the earth like you were standing in sand and you wanted to dig deeper. And then from there, allow that to rebound up through your body as you lengthen. Palms towards me, mountain pose, shoulders are soft. And we come back to the breath. Steady and as smooth and as comfortable a breath as we can find. On the inhale, draw the palms up. On the exhale, taking the palms down. And again, let that movement be guided by your breath. On the inhale, we'll draw the arms up. And just like when we were seated, taking the arms down to one side as we twist, inhaling up and to the other side. Let your hips come with you. One more either side. And coming back to center. This time drifting the right arm up and over. And inhaling up and down. Left arm up and over. Feeling that length on the side, just going from side to side, allowing that supporting hand to drift down the leg. Noticing how that feels in your body to get the length through the sides. One more either side. And from here, you're going to take those feet out a little wider. So get nice and comfy, bend through your knees, and just make sure that you feel stable and steady here. From there, we're going to turn, and then of course mirroring you, turn that right foot out. So the right foot is facing up the length of your mat. Now the left heel is going to lift and step back. So our left toes are turned in about 10 or 15 degrees-ish. And then again, from here, just noticing how this feels. With the left toes turned in, we stop the warring through the pelvis of one hip wanting to go in one direction, the other hip wanting to go into the other. This means we have a slight internal rotation as we come into triangle. So, rooting down through your feet, just like we did a moment ago, as if you're in sand. This is the inhale. On the exhale, what I want you to do is tip the left hip out behind you. You can even put your hand on that hip if you like. Inhaling, shoulders over hips. Exhaling, we're turning that hip out. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice. Just that soft movement. Any adjustments you need to make in your foundation, go ahead. And then from here, we're going to draw that left shoulder back. So our chest is now completely facing the front. Inhaling and exhaling. Nice. Hands to the hips here. Great place to be, right here. If there's any pulling through the knees, you can bring a slight bend through the knees, making everything accommodated for your body. Next time we bring that hip back, we're going to stay. Sending that right hip, hand down to the right thigh. We've already been here today. Drawing the left shoulder open. Great place to be. Option to stay here. Imagine that there's a wall behind you and you could just draw that left shoulder back. Now once you're here, if anything's tweaking, twitching, then accommodate for that. Bending through that front knee, adjusting your foundations, maybe not bringing that left shoulder quite so far back. Drawing the chin in slightly towards the chest so we're not opening the chest out towards the earth. With that support on that right thigh, option to stay here, option to come down a little further, noticing how that feels. And then from between having your shoulders over your hips and coming down, find a place that feels pretty stable and steady to you. Left arm on the left hip. Inhaling, up, overhead. Exhaling down. We've already been here. Inhaling and exhaling. And that right hand can come down onto the shin if you want to, or onto that upper thigh, just not pushing down into that knee joint again. Option to take that top arm up and reach it up towards the sky. Wide collarbones. Gaze can come up towards the ceiling or that thumb. Wherever that hand is, making sure your torso feels supported. And the option is to draw the top arm over the ear, very much like we were in gate pose. Now from here, again, adjusting everything you need to make it more comfortable for you. Steady breath. Any tingling, numbness through the fingers, you're taking the hand back towards the head or back down towards that left hip. Root through your feet, find length through the crown of your head, whichever direction it's going in. So we're spread out a little bit like a starfish. Whether your arms are extended or not, reaching through the crown of your head, through your fingertips, through your feet. You've got another couple of breaths here, always coming out early. Wherever you are, allow that left shoulder to draw you up and out. Rolling through the shoulders, drawing the right foot in, bending through the knees, hula hooping through the hips, and back in the opposite direction. From here, same thing, other side. If you need to take a rest, take a rest. Otherwise, left foot turns out, down the length of your mat. Right heel turns back, so we've got a slight internal rotation through the right hip. Then adjust to accommodate for your body. Bend through the knees, making sure you feel quite stable here. And again, adjust if you don't. Take support if you need to. And then from here, this is the inhale, shoulders more or less over hips. Exhale, we're going to turn that hip out, inhaling and exhaling. And once you're here, maybe you need to change things up because it doesn't feel like there's space to move. You get to change, you get to choose. Right shoulder's drawn back. You can take the hands to the hips. Excellent place to stay. Or I'm going to send that right hip out and we're going to stay here. Again, any adjustments you need to make, please go ahead. Reaching through the crown of your head. Left hand to left thigh. Option to start to come down a little further. You get to choose from here. Left hand is supported on the thigh or even the shin or even down towards the ankle or on a block, whatever feels comfortable for you. But the idea is not to go down as far as possible. The idea is to find a sweet spot that it feels like you can reach through the crown of your head and you've got length through both sides of your torso and you're reaching down into both feet. Come to a place that it feels sustainable. And again, if you need to bend that front knee to make that feel comfortable for your body or any other adjustment, make that adjustment. Wherever you are, reach through the crown of your head, find length. Option to draw that right arm up overhead, collarbones are wide. You can pulse with the right arm up overhead. Notice if that tweaks and twists your body in a way that does not feel good, don't do it. Any numbness or tingling through those right fingertips, you keep the hand down or at an alternate place where you're not getting numbness and tingling. That means you're pinching a nerve through the shoulder. Option to stay arm overhead. Collarbones wide, you can take your gaze towards that thumb, up towards the sky. Once you're somewhere, maybe you're there and you're like, this doesn't feel right. Maybe this feels better. That's not a right or wrong. There's a place that feels comfy for you. Breath is steady. Finding length through the sideways that we've been opening up all class. And then when you're ready, that right shoulder is going to draw you all the way up. Turning those left toes in. Readjusting. Hula hooping through the hips in your own way. And then when you're ready, heel toeing or jumping the feet in towards each other. Mountain pose, maybe hand to belly, hand to heart. Breathe into the palms of your hands. Exhale it out. And when you're ready, I'll meet you down on the floor. Here we are, down on the floor, and we're coming all the way down on our back, making sure you have everything gathered around you that you need for relaxation right at the end. So from here, any softness you need underneath you, please go ahead, accommodate for your needs. Knees to the sky, feet to the floor. And you're going to bring the arms out in a cactus or a T, or even hands resting, cupping the back of your skull. Whatever's comfortable for you. There's not a right or a wrong here. And from here, heel toeing the ankles and knees in towards each other. You can pick up through your pelvis, lengthen through your back so it's comfy And now we're going to get into some strengthening through especially the lower abdominals. So from here, rooting down from everywhere that you're rooting down, from the crown of your head all the way down through your pelvis. Steady the breath. And on the inhale, keeping the pelvis rooted down to the floor, we're going to hover the feet. And this already is a whole lot. So on the inhale, we're going to draw the knees in towards our chest. Keep the heels down. Exhale, draw the knees over the hips. Inhaling in, exhaling, knees come over or towards over the hips. Inhaling and exhaling. And again, heels are soft here. Knees simply loosely allowing those bottom legs to dangle. Option to stay here. Steady breath. Option with the ankles in towards each other, keeping the ankles in towards each other, lifting the ankles up either kind of 45 degrees or even 90 degrees up towards the knees. And we're going to do the same thing. Drawing the knees in over the chest and drawing the knees over the hips. With the heels lifted towards or knee height, that's going to add weight. So the lower abdominals are having to do a whole lot more work here. Option to pulse. Option to bring your knees to a place where you feel like you can sustain the breath and the shape. Either ankles down, ankles up, towards or up to knee height. Steady breath. Notice where the mind goes. Notice if the breath is being changed by the movement, and if you can bring it back to a steady, smooth breath. Adding on. From here, starting on the right leg. Inhaling, leg goes long, stretching maybe 45 degrees or maybe hovering towards the earth, coming back to center. Inhaling, exhaling. And keeping a flex in that right ankle may help. One more here, and then we're going to the left side. Knees in towards each other, then the left leg extends. Making sure that the right leg is not shifting and moving as you're extending the left leg out. Breath is sustainable through the movement. One more. Drawing the knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a little hug, rocking and rolling from side to side. Okay, next round. So, bringing the knees up above the hips or your own alignment. So towards your knees, towards your chest is going to be easier. Over your hips is going to be more challenging. And if you take them even a centimeter away from your hips, that's going to be even more challenging. Arms wherever they're comfortable. Steady breath. From here, same thing, starting on the right leg. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, drawing back. The leg does not have to extend straight. It does not have to come down or even hover towards the floor. You get to set the boundaries. 2 more. Keeping that left leg as still and as stable as possible. Knees come back towards each other, left leg this time. Right leg is not moving. Steady breath. 2 more. And the knees come in. Give them a hug, rock and roll a little bit from side to side. We've got 1 more here. So, taking any previous modifications, or we're coming to where we were. Again, arms coming into a comfortable place. And if that needs to change up, then change it up. Option to do any of the previous ones we've done, or coming to a place that you feel is sustainable. Staying on the right leg. Option to stay here. Option to extend the right leg out. 6 breaths. Adjust that left knee if you need to. The last breath here. Pushing through both heels can help. And then the right knee draws in. Take a breath. Left leg extends. 6 breaths here. A last one. Knees coming back in. Release the hands, give yourself a little hug. Rock and roll from side to side. Beautifully done. And then from here, we're going to send those arms and legs up towards the sky. And take those slow circles around the wrists and ankles, one direction. And then we'll go around in the opposite direction. And allowing your feet to come down to the floor, hands back on the ribs, inhaling and exhaling. From here, right knee draws in. Give yourself a little hug. Right ankle over the top of the left knee. Thread the needle. Staying here, drawing the left knee in towards your chest. Hands to the outside of your thigh, behind the knee, or even threading through to the front of the shin. If both feet are off the floor, they're both flexed to protect the knee joint. Great place to stay right here, drawing that left thigh in as much or as little as is needed for you to find sensation that is sustainable with the breath. So not going to the biggest range of motion possible, but staying in a place that feels safe and that you can sustain it. Option to stay here. Option to extend the left foot up towards the sky. Hands behind that knee. Now we're going over the top of that right shin, behind or at the side of that thigh. Walk the hands up towards the shin, even up towards the foot. Drawing through the right, or drawing up through the left heel, toes coming back towards you. That'll get into the back of the leg. Knee can be straight or towards straight, bent, doesn't matter. Right knee is drawing out towards the side. You can even allow the right hand to hold it there if that feels like it's more stable for you. Couple of breaths here. And then the exhale, allow that knee to bend. Left foot comes back to the floor. If there is another twist you wish to take, then go ahead. Otherwise, we'll keep this figure 4 in the legs. Shift the hips towards the right side and take the entire shape to the left. Any props you need underneath the right foot, go ahead. This is quite the intense twist, so if you need to bring yourself out of it or offer yourself a different twist, then do. The right shoulder is grounded. You can take the gaze over the right shoulder. Staying for as long as you like. Or when you're ready, up we come to center, gaze and shape, shifting your hips back to center. Right foot comes down, and from here, just coming into a little bit of dying bug to strengthen. So, knees come in towards your chest, and we're just gonna extend the legs out here. Don't have to be very long. If you want to add on the arms in a mirror, the legs. So the arm is extending down with the extended leg and up overhead as the knee bends. Coming back to center. Knees to the sky, feet to the floor, left knee draws in, same thing, other side, and the left ankle comes over the right thigh. Left knee is drawn out, here we are, thread the needle. Great place to stay here, left ankle flex to protect the left knee, or we draw that right thigh in, hands to the thigh, underneath the thigh, or in front of that shin, depending on what's accessible to you and what feels the most comfortable. Right ankle is also flexed if the foot is off the floor. Great place to be right here. The shape sustained by the breath. Option to stay here, option to extend up that right leg. Now to a nice bent knee towards straight or straight, depending on what's going on in your body. You can reach over the top of that left thigh to come to the right thigh, or even walking up towards that shin. The right hand can rest on that right leg and the left hand winging out that left knee. If that feels comfortable for you, you get to decide. The last option here is to push through that right heel. That's going to wake up the back of the right leg. Imagine pushing the shin bone into the calf here. Again, the shape sustained by the breath. And if you need to come back to a previous modification because it simply feels better, being honest with yourself. And when you're ready, releasing that right foot all the way down to the floor, shifting the hips to the left. If there's another twist you want to take, go ahead. Otherwise, we're taking the entire shape over towards the right side. Left hip lifts. And of course, there are lots of different props you can use under that left foot. The left shoulder is grounded. You can take the gaze over the left shoulder. Softening where it feels comfortable for you. Notice if your whole body or places in your body are rigid, if you can do less, does that soften? When you're ready, gaze and feet come back to center, the hips come back to center here. Great place to stay. And then we're releasing the knees, giving them a little hug. And coming into that dying bug here. So, arms connected down to the earth as we extend and draw in the knees. And then the option is to add the arms. Bringing the knees back to center, giving yourself a hug. From there, coming into your relaxation. So, constructive rest, extending the legs out, whatever feels comfortable for you. And as you get settled, I'm coming up to a place to guide you. So settling in and settling down. Giving yourself permission to make any adjustments you need to for it to feel as comfortable as possible. Or if that means pausing this and going and getting another layer, then go ahead. Taking a breath in, exhaling it out, steady and slow. Softening your gaze or closing your eyes if you haven't already. And once again, feeling that connection down to the earth. Feeling into the stillness after the movement. And noticing how that feels in your body. Imagine your bones just got 10 times heavier than they've ever been. And you could release down into the earth. And as you imagine, sense, and feel your bones getting heavier, you could even imagine your body sinking a couple of millimeters down, even further into the support underneath you, with the weight of your bones. And as your bones release, allow your joints to soften, releasing pressure and stress from around each joint, from around your jaw as your back teeth part. through your shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers and thumbs as everything relaxes. Through all of your vertebrae, from the base of your skull all the way down to the tip of your coccyx, your tailbone. As if there was simply space and ease. Feeling your hips release, your knees to let go, and your ankles and all the bones, and your feet to the tip of your toes also unwind. So you can imagine, sense, or feel that space and that ease in the joints. Allowing your inner organs also to release tension and tightness from around them and inside them, as if you could give permission for the cells of your inner organs to relax. You can even imagine every cell going from tightness to a quivering tightness to a soft, round ease, like a breath, like a sigh. Allowing your muscles to loosen and lengthen like elastic bands in your hands, simply loose and soft. Including the muscles of your face around your forehead, your eyes particularly. As if your face was expressionless. Allowing all the other fascia, soft tissues, and your skin to also soften and unwind. And as you've released your body, allow your thoughts to relax and release. Like a noise in the other room that you could tune into, but you don't want to. You simply let it drift over you. Any other tightness or tension, simply allow it to dissolve like sugar in water as best as you can. Every time something arises, just let it slide away. Like those soft clouds in a blue sky, with a gentle breeze. Staying in this rest for as long as feels good to you. Absorbing it, knowing you can come back to this at any time with intention. And sensing the support underneath you and your body as it rests on that support. Aware of how you feel in this moment. Bringing in a little bit more mindful breath in your own time. Starting some gentle, lazy movements in your own way as you awaken from your rest. And if you wish to stay longer, just let my voice drift over and away. Gathering yourself into a place that you would like to finish your practice over the next few breaths, taking your time. And settling yourself in, feeling that support underneath you and rising from there. Hands in a gesture that makes sense for you to finish up. A breath in, lowered gaze, soft gaze, or closed eyes, chin down towards your chest. And tap into that sense, that feel of a deep letting go. Knowing that it's present in every moment, it's yours to tap into. From my heart to yours. Thank you for practicing. Namaste.